I haven't made one of these in a while. You know how it is. School, work, Easter, school, more work. But now I'm back with a new intro and a new haircut. Somebody told me that neo-Nazi skinheads were in style this year. They lied. As you may have noticed, I dropped the episode number from the title. I did this because I'm not making a series. There's not going to be seasons with annual hiatuses in between, and you're not going to have to know what happened in episode 5 to realize why XCOM coming back from the dead is so shocking in episode 26. It may make them a little more difficult to watch in order, but they're timestamped on YouTube, so you'd have to be pretty much inbred to fuck it up. Now, on to the topic of the day. A couple of weeks ago, EA was voted the worst company in America, which I don't think they deserve, as America is oversaturated with evil companies who directly benefit from the suffering and death of others. EA was pretty quick to point the finger at the anti-gay campaign launched against them to protest same-sex content in Mass Effect 3 and Star Wars The Old Republic. And I'm inclined to agree with Forbes when they say that this is most likely public relations damage control over the newly acquired shit title. EA can shout out artistic freedom as much as they want, but I just want to point out the hypocrisy in that cry. I support gay rights. I do not see why they shouldn't enjoy exactly the same freedoms as everyone else. Just look at them, they're so fucking adorable. In Iceland, gay marriage has been legal for years now, and we have Protestant Christianity woven into our constitution. America's constitution, on the other hand, specifically states that religion should have no say in politics. Which is why I see this as a symbol of hypocrisy. The debate about gay rights has already been decided. You have the old religious fanatical fuckwits whose way of thinking has not evolved since women were considered a prized possession on the one hand, and on the other you have the young intelligentsia whose open minds have rendered social truths apparent. Nothing is going to budge the former from their point of view as long as they have this piece of shit in their hands. So all we have to do is wait for them to die, which should be any time now. Which is why EA's putting down of its foot on this matter is such an empty gesture to me. It doesn't change anything. Of course, it draws attention to a sensitive subject and one that should be kept in the spotlight. But where was artistic freedom when a minority of Americans whined about Medal of Honor's Team Taliban? There was an issue where their stance on a controversial subject could have swayed the minds of hundreds of thousands of undecided individuals. They had the support of the vast majority of gamers worldwide, and most importantly, they had the justification of artistic freedom. They pussied out and changed the name to Opposing Force to appease a tiny fraction of the North American population, effectively stating that artistic freedom matters nothing compared to the risk of losing a fraction of North American sales. Was it worth it? No, because it renders every cry of artistic freedom coming from their mouths an empty, hollow gesture. Lucius Seneca is quoted as saying, "Art is but an imitation of nature. Homosexuality is natural. Homosexuality appears in almost every species known to man. How can art ignore it?" More game developers should include same-sex content in their games if we ever want this medium to be taken seriously as an art form. And EA, you should stop using artistic freedom as a scapegoat every time you're faced with bad press. Grow a pair of fucking balls and fight for the principles worth fighting for. You know what the difference is between Legos and sex? If you're waiting for me to say something clever, maybe you should stick to Legos.